Hello everyone and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire board game channel. Finally it's time to play 20th Air Force 2nd edition. Okay, so you might have followed my 8th Air Force 2nd edition campaign, and 8 is very similar to the 20th. They use the same kind of core system, but there are a lot of differences between the two games. So first of all, the setup is already mostly done. The thing that will be random every game I have not done because I want you to see that I've done it correctly. I'm not cheating. Quickly before we start playing, I just want to say how do I win this game and how do I lose. I win. All of these are minor cities and they will go on the board when I have destroyed at least 75% of all of the major cities. There's 6 major cities with incendiary bombs. I need to have 15 out of those 20 major cities. I don't know if there are 20. Maybe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, there's 20 of them. And I need to have at least 15 of them bombed before I win. And they repair quite a lot of them, so it's not an easy task. The only way that I can lose is by the bombing campaigns, which you might recognize from the 8, if I ever get to sacked, or if we get to turn 15 and I have still not won, I will have lost. So I need to have 15 of those minor cities bombed, and that's the goal of the game. Just like in the 8th Air Force, I'm going to be playing this in episodes. So we're going to do 3 turns in every game. So there's 15 turns totally, so we're looking at possibly 5 episodes. And I'm going to keep supplying you with charts on the screen, and if you click on the settings and video quality, I'm shooting this in 4K now. So you're gonna be able to watch this in 4K, which is gonna be pretty good picture quality. So you can probably see much of the details on the smaller things like the tokens, for example, on the board. Other than that, I'm also gonna be playing with the optional rules. So there is a total of 4 optional rules. The first one is no atom bomb. So I'm not going to be able to get an A-bomb in this game. So you can see it's missing here from the research. The second optional rule is that the Japanese are going to be able to get a jet in August of 1945. And the third rule is going to be Soviet support, and the Soviets are going to attack, I think it's called Manchuria in English. And when they do that in turn, let's see, 11, I will roll a die, and if it's a 1 to 4, that is the number of minor cities that I need less to win. So if I roll a 4, I'm going to need 11 minor cities to win. If it's a 5 or 6, it will do nothing. And then the last optional rule, which I'm most excited about, is getting the help from the 20th Air Force, which will, the 8th Air Force, which will come late in turn. Oh, I believe it's perhaps, let's see here. It's going to be in turn 13, so it's very late in the game, but if they come, they will help you out a lot. And I'm also going to be able to get fighters, 2 fighter squadrons from both the 8th and the 20th, so 1 each, 2 totally, and that's also great help. And I think that's about it, guys, so I think we should get going. So the first thing we're going to do is place out our starting Japanese forces, and you just put a 4 value and a 2 value in each of the 5 tracks. And for the remaining ones, you roll on the new group placement table. We know that from the 8, we rolled 6, 6, which is going to be track number 5. And then we roll 2, 5, which is going to be track number 2. And then we roll 1, 3, which is going to be track number 1. And finally, we roll 5, 2, which is going to be track number 4. And then we need to place out our AA. And roll 2, 4. So that's going to be track number 1. And then we have these research tokens. You can see them here. They will give us some immediate research unless it's a bomb dud. So what we're gonna do, we look at the major cities, we roll a d6. If it's 1 to 2, it goes to the air production. If it's 3 to 4, it goes to oil. If it's 5 to 6, it goes to infrastructure. So the first one goes to infrastructure. Second one goes to air production. Third one also goes to air production. Fourth one goes to infrastructure. Fifth one goes to air production. And the last one goes to oil output. Okay, so that's it. So, you know, as you're playing the first turn, just like in the 8th Air Force, you will start with mission construction. So that is going to be phase 4. Here we have the phase marker. So normally you have the Imperial Japanese Army, they move AA, track reinforce new groups, and then new groups to me, add remove bombing campaigns, and then number 4, which is bombing by the Navy, starting in turn 11. And then you have mission construction. So we have 6 B-29s that we are starting with, and we are now looking to bomb the major cities of Japan. We have no ongoing bombing campaigns. So what I want to do is I want to get these research tokens. I'm going to make that my top priority. I have 5 of them, so if I do a high altitude bombing, the odds are big. And I have one here with 2 points. And I have one here with 2, so I can get both of those. There's untrained counters here, and what that means, one of the research is training. That's basically basic combat training. And before I do that, I'm gonna have to go 1 column on the left when I'm rolling on the combat results table, which is a bad thing for me. Anyway, let's see here. We want to go to Osaka, which is going to be over here. And we're going to do a high altitude bombing. And Osaka has 2 points, so I'm going to send 2 of my B-29s. And then the next one, let's do Kawasaki. So we send 4 of our bombers to Kawasaki, and then and then we do the untrained counters, just to remember that we have to go to the left. Okay, and then we move to execute missions. So just quickly, there is high altitude position bombing, and then there is low altitude area bombing. If I do a high precision bombing, that can only be against some goals. It can be against major cities, and it can be against certain types of campaigns like laying mines. If it's against major cities, I can bomb here any track that I want of the top 3. 1 damage for each bomber group. So if I attack Osaka, I can do 2 of damage to air production, oil output, or infrastructure for each surviving bomber. I cannot damage housing. If I do also, by the way, with the combat results for me and the enemies, I multiply it by 0.5 and round up. So it's less lethal for my bombers, but also for the interceptors. If it's a low altitude area bombing, we have a full combat result, and if I attack major cities, what's going to happen is that I roll on a low altitude area bombing, and for each bomber I could potentially hit up to 3 different things here and do 3 points of damage basically, and it can also hit housing. So if you want to destroy the city completely, you need to do low altitude area bombing. Also some areas here like minor cities and some bombing campaigns, you can also only use low altitude bombing. However, in this game we're mainly going to do high precision bombing, and the reasoning to that is because since we cannot develop the atom bomb, there is really not too much reasons for us to destroy the major cities completely, so we don't need to care about housing very much. So if you're interested in seeing this game played without those optional rules, where you actually have to try and go for the A-bombs, you can watch my playthrough video of the first edition, because in the first edition game I play without any optional rules and I try to research the atom bomb. Anyway, let's go, guys. We are hitting Osaka first, so we're all on the interception table, and if I roll if I roll a 1 to 4, no interception happens. On a 5, half of them, or 6, all of them. So I roll a 3, so there's no interception, so that's really great. I still have to face the AA, however. So we have 5 in this track, and then Osaka itself has 3, so that's a total of 8. So we half that, and that's going to be 4. So we use the 4 column now when rolling for damages. And we roll a 3, so that's going to be 0 casualties. So I can do now a total of 2 points of damage to Osaka. So I do 1, 2, and that means that Osaka air production is destroyed. I bombed their air factories, and I got this token, which says bomb any TR1. What that means is I can choose, do I want to research training, reconnaissance, or incendiaries. I definitely want to do incendiaries because that's my main goal. And then I place it here so I can keep track of what research points are left. And my B-29s return to base. And then we have the next mission, which is Kawasaki. So we go ahead and roll now on the interception table. And we are not intercepted in this mission either. And here we have the same amount of AA, 5 plus 3, that's 8. And it's reduced by a half, so that means 4. So we use the 4 column. And on the 4 column now we roll 5. That means 1 damaged, 1 destroyed. So the damaged one goes to return to base box, and the destroyed one goes to something called a dead pile, which is basically off board. And they're dead, they can come back during manufacturing or when I have new troops. So we managed to bomb Kawasaki, and we have 4 groups, so we do 4 points of damage. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get bomb incendiaries. So that's pretty awesome, because that means in turn 1 I have unlocked incendiaries. So in every turn from now, these cannot be repaired once they get destroyed. So incendiaries are extremely powerful. So also when you complete a research, you get more points of free research points every turn. So you start by getting 1 every turn, and now we got 2 every turn. So that's really awesome. My surviving B-29s go back. I didn't lose any groups, but I did lose 1 squadron damaged and 1 destroyed. And that is going to be the end for our mission. So we go to score campaigns, and there's no campaigns active. Victory, there's no even minor cities available, so there's no victory to be had. We go to tally air oil infrastructure tracks. And we have done a total of 6 damages to air production. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is going to weaken their air production. We get to that shortly. That's now we get to the air production. So what we do is we simply roll a d6 and we check our manufacture chart. And we can see the air production now is at 5. It starts at 6. So roll. And we roll a 2 and check the 5 column, and on a 2 that means 3. So we produce now 3 squadrons to the Japanese fighter groups. So you start with the highest combat value, and if it's a tie you go to the lowest track, and that means we put squadrons on these guys. And then we have research, and as you can see, we have 2 points of research now. So I'm going to research the training, and you can see that the training has a cost of 1, and I have 2 research points. However, you can only do a maximum of 1 research every turn, so I cannot put it to done, so I have to wait 1 more turn for that. But we advanced it to 1, and then we have bombing repair, but and you have different bombing repairs. You have bombing campaign repairs, but there's no bomber campaigns. Minor city restoration, there are no minor cities. And then major city restoration after MPD, but there's no MPD yet. And then we have major city repair, and that's going to happen now. So what you do is you go ahead and look on the table, which is called, let's see, it's called, oh, it's right here, major city repair. So you have early, mid, late, and early is the 5 first turns, mid is the turn 5 to, or sorry, it's the first 4 turns, mid is turn 5 to 10, and late is turn 11 to 15. So now we roll on early and hope for a low number, and roll 5, and with 5 that's going to be 4 points of reparation. So the first thing that you do is you put all that are destroyed to minimum. So that's 2 points of repair. And what you do then is you choose the track that has the most amount of damage, and that's going to be Kawasaki, and you use the rest of the points to repair that one. So we have 2 more points to repair. So 1, 2. Okay. And that's it for that turn. We have just completed the first turn of 20th Air Force. So now we're in October, and we do it, since it's the second turn, we all do it from phase 1 now. So just like in the 8, we move the AA and we roll 2, 2. So that's gonna keep that in track number 1. And then reinforce area. And it's only gonna happen if there is more than 3 groups in one. So if, for example, there was 4 groups in this and 1 in this, you would move 1 from here to there. And then we have new groups, so we consult our calendar. And there is not going to be any new groups. Well, yeah, there is. Nope, there's not. I looked wrong. There's no new groups for Japanese. However, for my 20th Air Force, there is. Oof, sorry. And I get, let's see here, 11th. So that's going to be a B-29 squad. And I do get 1 squadron. And then I have return to base and manufacture. So you can see here the manufacturer is going to be in turn number 2. It's only going to be 1, and then it's going to keep growing. But let's start with the return to base box. So what you get here is half of the squadron. So if there's 8, I get 4. But you always get at least 1. So I do get 1. And then from the manufacturing, I do get 1. So there we go, we have 2, so I can attach those to the groups that did lose squadrons. All right, and that's it for our squadrons. Then we go to add remove bombing campaigns, but there's none. Mission construction, okay, so I think I'm gonna hit those places which already have damage, so Kawasaki again. And I am gonna go ahead and use 2 of them, I believe, no, 3 of them, so I can destroy it. And then I'm hitting Osaka, which I need to do only 1 hit to. And I'm going to do high altitude bombing. I could potentially do low altitude, but I feel like that's kind of a gamble. And let's see. I feel like I want to hit their oil, so I'm gonna go with this one, Kobe, which is in this track. There we go. So I think actually I will do Kobe first, in case there is interceptors, so I can reduce the risk for this group, which only has 1 squadron, so they could potentially be hurt. And I think, yeah, I'm not sure about, maybe I'll send them all to Osaka this turn actually, just to play it safe, because we're still so early in the game that I don't feel like I want to have any risk of casualties. execute missions. So we start with Kawasaki, we roll on the interception. They only intercept on a 5 or a 6, and roll a 1, so there's no interception. We have to deal with AA dose. We have 5 plus 3, that's 8. Divided by 2, that's 4, so we roll on the 4 column. And we roll a 2, so there's no damage to us. Kawasaki, let's see here. We have 3 of them. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and it's now destroyed. So we remove this. And another great thing is that we actually we should put this on each track once we get those incendiaries. And what they display is how big a portion of the city is destroyed. And you can see all of them is put at 0, but at Kawasaki now we have advanced it to 25%, and we have removed this because when you use incendiaries they can't repair it, which is great for us. And then we have this Osaka, so 5 or 6 they intercept, and roll a 2, so there's no interception. AA is going to be 8, so it's going to turn into 4 because it's high altitude. And on a 4 I roll a 3, there's no damage to my forces. A very successful raid. We have 4 groups, so we can do 4 points of damage. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we destroyed infrastructure and air in Osaka, so it's now at 50% damaged. And we return our B-29 groups. And we move on to score campaigns, but it is no campaigns. Tally air, oil, infrastructure damage. So in air production now we have a total of 6. So it stays at 6. And then we did hit infrastructure at 3, which will reduce the Japanese ability to repair. And I believe we did hit. Okay, we have oil over here, so that's going to be 3. I should have hit oil. -1. Or no, I never bombed that. Sorry, my mistake. So it stays at 0. I'm trying my best to limit all of the fog of war. But you know, okay, that's it. We go to their manufacturer, so we roll on their manufacturer table, and they have, let's see here, they have 5, so we roll on the 5, and at 5 production level they still get 5 of these with a roll of 4. They're gonna get 5 squadrons. So they're quickly getting stronger. And we grow our forces very slowly. And then we have research, and we go ahead and research training. So it's done, and we are now at 3 points of research per turn. And we remove these untrained tokens because we do not need to use them any longer. And then we go to bombing repair and skip directly to major city repair. And there is a -1 now to the roll. We roll on the major city repair table. And roll a 4, which turns into a 3. And early in the war, that's going to be 3 repairs. However, there is nothing for them currently to repair. Since, again, if you use incendiaries, they are destroyed forever. And they could only be repaired by a major city restoration, which is not likely to happen in this game, since I'm not intending to destroy any cities completely. And that is it for the second turn now. So we go to the third turn, which is November 1944. We move AA and roll 5, 3, which is going to be track number 4. And track reinforcements, nope. New groups, yes, they will get 1 fighter with a value of 2 in combat. And they get 1 attached squadron. We move roll on the new group placement table, and they roll 2, 4, which is going to be track number 1. And then we go to our new groups, and this turn we are not getting any new group, I'm afraid. However, we do get the return to base and manufacture squadrons. It has now increased, so we get 2 squadrons instead of just 1. So we are also growing, but not that quickly. And add remove bombing campaigns, and there is no bombing campaigns yet. Mission construction, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. So I could do 7 points of damage somewhere. And I think I want to hit oil most of all. There is none that is exactly 7, so I could choose between hitting 2 places or 1. But I think I'm going to go for 1. So Yokohama looks good. So that has, that has only 3. Well, Nagoya. So Nagoya is over here. So I'm going to send all of them to Nagoya on a high altitude bombing mission. And Nagoya is over here. And that's it. Execute mission. So we go ahead and roll. 1 to 4. There's no interception. A roll of 5. So that means half of them will in fact intercept. And it's going to be the strongest one. So it's going to be that one. So we calculate the combat factor. 4 plus 3, that's 7. Plus 4, that's 11. Plus 2, that's 13. 13, half of it is going to be 6.5. Rounded up, that's 7. So roll on the 7 column. And it's 3, and that means 1 damaged, 1 destroyed. So we take 2 squadrons, 1 damaged, and 1 is destroyed. And then we get to fire back. So we have 8, 12, 16, 20, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 37. Oh, what's half of that? 37, that's gonna be 17, that's 34, 18, that's 36. So 18 and a half. So rounded up, that's 19. So we used the 19 column. And I really hope I calculated that correctly. 19 column, that's 2 damage, 3 destroyed. And again, I hope I calculated that correctly. But me doing math when it's like, I'm pressured because, you know, I'm recording in 4K and it's taking so much space. So anyway, these are destroyed. And again, I hope I calculated that correctly. I'm sure I'm going to hear it in the comments if I didn't. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. So in Nagoya, which is here, we do 7 points of damage. So I do oil all the way to 6, so that's destroyed. And then I can do 1 damage to infrastructure. And that's going to be it for this turn. We go back to base. And we go to score campaigns, but nothing tally oil air infrastructure. So we did 6 points of damage now to oil. That is going to make them weaker when they intercept. And then we did 1 point of damage to infrastructure, but it was also repaired. So there is a total of 4 points now to infrastructure. And oil, it was only the 6, right? And air, we didn't bomb anything new, so it should still be at 11, 15. Let's see here. No, it's not 11. 2, 4, it should be at 6. Yeah, and oil is at 6. And infrastructure is at 1, 4. Okay, we're good to go. And then manufacturing, so their air production level is still at 5. And on a roll of 6, that's going to be 5 of them. Same as last turn. And you bring back any groups weakest first, not strongest first like in the 8. Weakest first, and then you bring back squadrons. So let's roll for this guy first of all. And roll a 4, 5. So that's going to be track number 3, where he came from. And then you attach the squadrons. There we go. And then we have research. and we're gonna do the reconnaissance, even though we don't really need that for this turn, to be honest, or this game. Bombing repairs, we go to major city reparation, and we have a -1 to roll. And roll a 1, so that's gonna be a 0, and in early that means 1 repair, so we are going to repair infrastructure to 0 hits. I think that is actually the only one that's currently damaged, so they really got good use of that 1 repair. And that is the end of the turn. We go now to December 1944, and that is also the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this first video of 20th Air Force 2nd edition, even if it was a little bit uneventful. We were really lucky to unlock incendiaries really fast, but time is also going really quickly. We have only 15 turns, and we spent 3 of them, so we have only 12 turns remaining. So if you know, sometimes when using this optional rule, you might have to do some low altitude bombings to increase that damage, especially if you take losses to your groups. So we'll see if there's ever going to be any low altitude bombings. Next turn we're going to have new bombing campaigns, which is going to be the mines, which we're going to have to put some attention to, or we will lose. And yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening. There's going to be, we already have the missing A-bomb, but there's going to be more optional rules coming into the game very soon. In turn 8, there's going to be the first optional rule where we get a fighter squadron to help us out. So guys, comment, like the video, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss out on the second episode. But, you know, just as always, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.